Hi everyone, it's Ben here again. Just a quick little feature that we're working on that I just wanted to make a little recording and show you. We're looking at change detection, and not just change detection on an individual paddock, but looking at change detection on a large area. So we're into Satamap here, a development version, and we'll just have a look at some. There's been plenty of nice cloud-free Sentinel-2 imagery over the last little while. But a bit of clouds appeared recently with those more rain that's come through. Let's have a little look here at an area sort of northeast of Maureen. We just looks a little bit different here on the upper left-hand side, as we're in a development version of Satamap. We're just going to, how about we look at the SVI equal to start with. You see a typical sort of colour scale there on the SVI equal. We are looking at the 22nd of September here, but these crops are quite late given the season. Now what I'll show you is this new feature we're working on, which is to not just look at the level of biomass, but look at how it's changed. So see here we've got SVI equal, and if we go to SVI change, the screen turns grey and we get these two date boxes drop down here. So the one at the top is your recent image, and your one down the bottom is the one we're going to compare it to, so I guess our base image. And you'll see here you've got the date, you've got that number there, the 19, that's the cloud percentage on the 100 by 100 kilometre grid, so 19%. So we'll go down to this one here on the 2nd of October as our most recent image, and we've got the 30th of September set there, so it's only really a 3-day gap. We'll just open that gap up a little bit more so we can see the change effect a bit better. Okay, so the greens and blues are a positive change in the SVI value, and the yellows down to reds are a negative change. So what we're seeing here is some crops are still actively growing and accumulating biomass, which is, yeah, like I said, your greens, blues, and then others are actually the active growing green biomass is decreasing. And that's right, because I know I've been out and looked at some of these crops on the ground, and they are actually turning, getting ready for harvest. If we just go back a little bit further with our base image, you look at a paddock like this one, which has had a bit of a split germination. We can see here some areas are well and truly turned off, not growing anymore, and others here are still actually have, in the period between the 10th of September and the 2nd of October, have actually accumulated some biomass, shown by the greens. And the pattern can be seen in other paddocks as well. You can see this paddock here, especially up through here, and this is exacerbated by the fact that planting conditions weren't ideal, and then there was follow-up rain a month after planting, and then the rest of these fields have germinated later on. So this type of change imagery, or using the two images together, is very helpful for figuring out what areas in the paddock are going to be difficult for harvest. But also, if we start to zoom out, we can start to get a feel for where different parts of the region are at. So to go a bit further to the east, you can see here there's parts through here that quite a significant amount of area are still accumulating biomass. And what's interesting is we can still use our split screen feature, and then we can turn So the SVI equal is just using a single image. So we zoom into some of these fields here. Just lost that one there. We'll just load him up again. There it is. So there we go, we've got the, you can see that these fields have all been actively, excuse my phone, these fields here have been actively growing, but on the right hand side you can see the Satamap vegetation index, which is pulling out the variability in the paddocks. You can see some here have accumulated more than others. But they've all been, most areas of the fields have all actively been growing. They're not sort of split into areas that are either not accumulating biomass, which is shown by these white areas, or all going backwards. Whereas you can see some fields down here, which are the yellow, have actually decreased in their biomass value. We expect this tool to be fairly useful for pastoralists. You can sort of start to see areas that have been managed differently. So running cattle on pastures or sheep, you start to see the effect of the biomass decreasing based on the cattle grazing those areas. Telling you a different type of information to what you see on the just the standard SVI. Zoom out even further, it's a bit more interesting. We can start to go, okay, what areas have actually accumulated biomass and what areas haven't. So let's see here, Moree, Jalungra, we've got a hot spot here at Bundara. Zoom out a bit more. Let's go down south where we might see some more later crops. Looks like an interesting area here. So what's good to do is, if you're not familiar with this exact dates tool, you can turn that on and you can have a look at selecting all the available inventory, not just a subset of inventory. You can see here the 30th September is a good date. We might make sure we used it in our next comparison and say the 5th. Look nice. nice. Alright, so we'll change to SVI change. So that's a 25-day change, and this is looking quite interesting. On the right hand side here, we've got the switch on exact dates, and actually we've got the 30th of September there. So we're seeing here Satamap vegetation index on the right and our change on the left. So we've got a few crops that are still growing, but you wouldn't know that just by looking at the Satamap vegetation index. See these few up here. But looking at two images over time, it adds a whole lot more power to the Satamap toolset. By the time this is put into production, they might look a little bit different, might be a little bit easier to use, but I don't imagine it'll change too much more. Alright, thanks for watching, and